It was a Ben Shapiro, who they have playing a little punk with opposites to racism as collusion. You know, they're communicating other than our founders communicated, also be used to sense anyone who brings it up. That's why they keep repeating racism and counters to it, replacing what our founders communicated about the torture, extortion, fact cheating nature, slavery method at all locations, let alone the cities. That's why there's problem in the cities. You can't see there's plural clearer than day. There are predicate acts with facts, sickly distinctly on all locations slash s. You guys have self-value roles communicating other than our founders communicated to have communicated for themselves and for the Constitution unabridged. Why and how they had to leave slavery entrenched sickly distinctly, northern colonies and southern colonies. They had to. They had no choice. If they were even sensed as their roles as they actually were for the Constitutional Convention, for the Declaration of Independence with James Madison's plan, they would have killed everybody. In other words, there were entrenched laws that were time collusions with the private criminal enterprises and overt criminal enterprises and terrorists. When did that stop being used? When did the witch trials place next to Webb House, now renamed the Webb Stevens Museum? When did that stop being about the laws that were entrenched simultaneously with northern and colonies and southern colonies with slavery? It wasn't about a tea tax. They put that as the answer to replace what our founders communicated. They did not have free speech. They communicated that too. They declassified that, how and why they didn't have free speech. That's why there's a problem. The suburbs were designed before America's founders were born. They used people like Ben Shapiro to pretend they believe it's an opinion. Oh, it's our opinion. They're dishonest. In other words, fix the way World Trade Center predicate acts. The news has Ben Shapiro involved with them too. CBS News attached me to fake conversations with themselves and with others at their location in Rocky Hill and next to them with people next to the state capitol too, and next to Fox Connecticut News and next to WTNH, also with the Facebook pages of the FBI in the Bryn Superior Court and Wethersfield Court Police. Wethersfield Police attached me to fake conversation with themselves as a kid, now as an adult. In other words, get them on paper, one name in sequence. Get me off the fake conversations about the World Trade Center attack and fear God for doing that. And for the other things I caught you doing with the principal child abuser at the same time. These are little child abusers, some tactically delusions raw too. Criminally foreign fact, human nature, quality aspects and nature, while tactically delusions raw. The Ben Shapiro and the people that are just trying to counter, but they have, like, some things are unnatural. They're only natural as criminal insidiousness nature. That's one of the answers. Why? Because criminal insidiousness nature is still pretended natural when it's denying the hypernative system that is generating all differences individually grouped together. It's about culture, but not because they're not the culture of Ben Shapiro. They never had a chance in the world to be the culture of Ben Shapiro. On a mass scale, anyone could be. Oh yeah, pull one person out of that and then keep speaking about black and white, black pupils. Peer. They're communicating tactically ulterior than our founders communicated to communicate about how the breaching method reassigned what black people's whites of eyes communicate. The revelations here, black peoples. We are shown many things and answers with this. The other species have two eyes, for example. There are also species bodies of individual bodies with all group differences generated by that, which is generating all things. But please get me off the fake conversations with WFSB. And note the World Trade Center also with Connecticut Interbranch, forging and switching names on a mass scale. They're putting people before the courts that are sticking fake things in the databases. Increasingly, East Hartford locations has more judges and prosecutors, including female ones, involved with sexual and medical offenders and people with the conversations of the kids that are the victims. They're measuring and maintaining them, leaving out little details about their roles as they actually were and are with the overt criminal enterprises and private ones next to Hartford Hospital. That's not legitimately them with the military. What are they doing with this Michael Frances? What are you talking about with the fentanyl and the prisons? What are you going to make an opinion? Get them on paper with the interbranch switching names, forging names, and the people that brought the names tied to you like the news too. Get me off the fake conversations with the news and with these KKK, black theme, Latino theme, Italian theme, Confederate flag theme right on Facebook page of the principal child offender with this with a whole bunch of people tied to it as Joshua Julian in that principal upskirt nature, with the other ones years ago tied to the security at the schools. These are people with the Sandy Hook too, and the victims too. They are the victims of the World Trade Center attack and the victims of the Sandy Hook campuses involved collusions with the predators partially further against them, like the people at Harvard Hospital and involved intercampuses and people with O'Brien with the Sandy Hook campuses names and all kinds of medical offenders of kids. Ones with the name Leahy that fake conversations with me. You're going to watch the tactical, all kinds of natures of organized crime with UConn, with the names next to Harvard Hospital. They're also next to hospitals intercities. You get them onto paper right now. I want a response for the principal child abuser's confession now by Black people. Get them on paper. Let me show you how to think.